Do we do one of those like 40-minute intros on this podcast, like some of them?
They usually just happen because I'll just ramble randomly like this.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you feel about like men's bell bottoms?
I'm actually like into it.
If you had a time machine, where would you go?
Where or like what time period?
Time, where are you landing?
I don't know
What's
if you're asking
happening?
like about a teleporting machine or a time machine.
If you want to have fun, drink every time we say Corvair.
How many
At your risk.
How many more questions you have that Corvair's the answer?
That's your own risk.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like a sport group, isn't it? Yeah. you could just validate all the things you're doing wrong by inviting me over.
There you go. Yeah.
Pretty
I
completely.
can't believe I'm answering questions ahead of you.
No,
I'm pretending I'm Derek Bieri.
Have you seen the AI?
Step up.
Welcome to another episode of In the Aisles presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I am your unreliable host, Derek Bieri.
Today is the one you've all been asking for.
And I have the legendary, I know you've seen him on TV for years. I've got some of my favorite people on this earth here this time. 13 million albums sold.
The iconic tattoo, well, let's just say artist with me today.
Tracy Lawrence, Mr. Kevin Tents,
Ray Ripple, Mr. Cartoon. Matt from Matt's Off-Road Recovery.
Dirthead Dave here. This show is going to be amazing. I have the one and only Dulcich here.
Oh, man, what a build-up, Derek. Wow, I'm overwhelmed.
Well, I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah.
There was some confusion. We said, we're ready to do the podcast. And you're like, now? And it was like, right now.
Right now, yeah. I mean, I was just crawling under the car back here in the background, wrenching on it, and the next thing you know, we're chatting.
Here we are. We should explain this. So you were literally just putting brakes on Vanishing Paint.
Yes.
Like 3 minutes ago.
This is a car that I bought years and years ago, actually, before you owned it, and later on David Freiberger, who co-hosts a couple of shows with me. But I paid $300 for it and parked it out back, and I wasn't going to do anything with it, and you've done a lot.
I've got to talk to Freiberger because the markup was steep.
Yes?
I'm telling you, from $300. But no, does it feel weird to be working on your old car now in Vice Grip Garage in Tennessee, and it's traveled across the country, essentially, and now we're doing, I think I can say this, a 6-speed swap in this.
Yeah, that's going to be just amazing to try that out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah, but no, I mean, to me, I moved on. I have a lot of other cars, and
So
David enjoyed it. We did a lot of work on it to get it running and driving, and then now look at the upgrades you're doing, the 6-speed and handling and braking performance.
So it doesn't make you sad. You don't have any animosity either.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, good.
Well,
I'm glad.
I was going to take you outside, but
Should I tell the
Well, it
salt
was
flats
leading
story?
into like after you destroyed it.
I improved it first
So
by the Who.
Derek, this is a true story, borrowed my car when him and his buddy were going to Las Vegas, and we were 16, 17 years old. Well, I
don't
was, so you
remember.
were like a few years older, let's be real. But went to Vegas.
What does that mean?
It means I'm younger than you.
Okay, whatever.
Anyways, my car was returned to me on a flatbed trailer because he raced it on the salt flats,
Okay, well,
and it wasn't working anymore.
okay, it was more exciting than the way that you just said it. We got third place. Okay? I think this was like when, okay, we're on like Fast and the Furious, like 29 now, I think.
Something like
28.
that, definitely, yeah.
This was like after 1 came out. So like you would come out of Walmart and there's 48 cars just hitting a rev limiter, and all of a sudden
Neon
people are like
lights.
spray painting karate punches on the doors, and there's like wood wings and
Yep.
PVC snorkels. Well, we were out in a small town, I think it was called Pahrump, Nevada.
And that is where you
And
were.
there's like a salt flattish area out there that they were having these street races. So my friend Chad and I wanted to show up and just, because we're goofballs, have fun, whatever. We took the hood off of this 4-door Geo Prism, bone stock. I mean, this thing was slower than an electric wheelchair. I ain't kidding you.
I think I paid like $400 for it.
This
when
is
I
right
got
after
it.
I put a transmission in it for you, actually.
Well, that's why I was talking about fixing it, because we had to fix it again after that.
We went to Walmart and bought some bright yellow wire loom, you know, like snappy plastic stuff. And we wire loomed the entire engine bay and then pulled into the car show with all these other like turbo Eclipses and Nissan GT blah blah blahs and the yip yaps and whatever. And everyone's like, "What's done to the car?" We're like, "Oh, it's all internal, engine, high performance stuff." True story. It was like a 12 wide drag race or something. We were the third fastest car there in a stock Geo Metro.
Geo Prism.
Or Geo Prism, excuse me. But I might have over-revved it. It was blowing oil out the valve cover.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you took it like off jumps or something, the way that it came back.
Well, I mean, we also off-roaded it the next day.
Yeah.
And then we got into a big gulp fight in the car.
Yeah, I remember my headliner was so sticky with soda, and my dad was so mad at me because when he found out I let you take it, he lectured me over and over on how that car was going to come back to me. And I'm like, Derek would not do that. And then we got the call that it was at your mom's house on a trailer, and I needed my dad to go get it for me.
I definitely did do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
When I came to Nashville, I'm telling you, I was poor. I didn't have nothing. I mean, the money that I had in my pocket when I came was donated. It was collected at the door at the last club that I played at, part of the circuit. So they took up a donation to help me get to Nashville. That's the money I had in my pocket. I didn't have insurance on the car. My tags were expired. It was a 4-cylinder Toyota Corolla, only 3 cylinders worked. The fourth one would kick on every now and then, So it coughed and sputtered at Nashville, and it gave me everything that it had. And when I did my showcase in January, I'm telling you how everything happened. They actually gave me an advance when I was getting ready to cut my album, and I bought a Honda Civic.
Okay.
Because I didn't know how it was going to work out, and I didn't have money to buy gas. It's like I'm going to stay on the economy side for a while.
Yeah.
So that was the first real car that I ever had. Everything else was a piece of crap.
From a Toyota to Honda. You still got the Toyota.
So the old Toyota sitting out in the pasture. And I had there at one time, I thought maybe I'll restore it and do something to it. But I parked it out in the pasture, and kids have come in and shot it full of holes and busted all they've destroyed it. It's beyond repair.
I don't know if you say it's beyond repair, but I'd sure like to take a crack at that thing. I'll tell you what.
Okay. Bless your heart. It's bad off.
What was your first car?
Oh, wow, this will surprise you. This one's way out there. 1962 Chevrolet Corvair,
Interesting.
Monza 900.
Okay.
I drove the wheels off of that car. Literally, one day I lost a rear wheel bearing that had been squawking at me forever. Slid out. Now you lose all the brakes because you got a single piston master cylinder.
Death pot.
Yeah. So, but no, I drove that all through high school. I got it. My dad gave it to me when I was 11. We were not very well off financially at all, but he had this junk car that didn't run. The engine wasn't in it. He's like, we've got an engine, you can figure it out. And so by the time I was 14, it was running and driving, and that was, got it licensed eventually. Don't tell anybody. I drove it a long time, unlicensed and unregistered. Allegedly. And then, that was
Do you still have it?
I don't have that car.
Are you looking for it?
I know it's gone.
Oh,
I know
crushed,
it got crushed. So when you're a kid, you don't realize what you're going to think about when you're older.
right. I know. All right, let's talk about another very famous car you have. I picked up a 3435 Ford truck from you guys. I love the thing. I adore it. And thank you again for the hospitality. I think that was I don't know how many times I've been at Y'all's shop, but you guys have been just great to me, and I appreciate that. And the whole time I'm filming this video in the comments, truck's cool, but what about Ecto? What's this station wagon thing? Is it on bags? Is that a stack through the hood? What's on the roof? What is this abomination of a vehicle you call, what is it, Ecto 1 or Ecto 2?
We call it Ecto-Boost.
Ecto-Boost.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it?
So it's a 63 Cadillac hearse, and when we bought it, it was just a roller, no motor, no transmission in it, and we put a 12-valve Cummins diesel in it. So we decided we'd build it for the Lone Star Throwdowns, a showdown around Conroe and or whatever. And so we did all that. We did it pretty quick. Like, we were pretty crunched on time. We put the 12-valve in it, which was a learning experience in itself. We set it in there within like a couple days. Oh, this will work great, but then the steering wasn't working. So we had to pull it back out and reconfigure everything. But yeah, it's got full air ride, and then we just took junk around the shop and made props, functional props on the roof. It's got a flamethrower, it's got fog machines, it's got a zapper, slime. I mean, a little bit of everything.
That's awesome. So we were down there, and you're like, we had to move it for something. I can't remember what it was. But you're like, man, this hasn't run in a month or two, or maybe it was longer than that. We'll see if it starts. And you hit a button or a key or rub forks together or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And that thing lit off like now. And I was like, wow, that's
I don't know
impressive.
I don't know if you remember though, but it had been there long enough. Rats had chewed the airline in half.
I remember, yeah, the front didn't air up or whatever. Yeah. I was like, okay, well, that's.
So unfortunately, when you find them rats, I guess you bring some back with you too. So.
Yeah. So that was a question that I had, and you kind of already covered it, but on the roof rack, because I'm always enamored with that. Like you go to Disney World or whatever, and they kind of have those. And I was at a car show on what are they called? Auto Museum on Route 66, and they had one of the original Ectos in there. And I'm looking at all the gear on the roof, and I'm trying to identify what all these parts and pieces in. So you said fog machine, bug zapper?
Yeah, it's got some kind of electric zapper, it's called like an electronic firecracker. I took a heat lamp shield, a center cap to a wheel, end of a tailpipe, and just a little bit of everything, and made this little cone-looking thing that zaps in the middle. And then the flamethrower, we were playing around with it, trying to figure out how to make a propane flamethrower out of what I found on Marketplace. It was an old, very old projector, like a film projector, but I was like, it just looks like a gun, Yeah. So I bought it for like $30 from some kid, and we took the guts out and put an air valve, and probably can't explain exactly how we did it on here, but it took a lot of trial and error.
It shoots fire, is what you're saying.
Shoots fire.
Yeah, that's really cool. And you guys use it for local parades, and obviously it's well known. It's almost like a statue of the city. You used to do some graffiti stuff too. Is this right?
Yeah, as we can see behind me.
Yeah.
A big piece. That's how I started off when I was a kid.
Okay.
It was putting my name up on the wall, and that was the greatest feeling to me. And I just love to scale out a wall and do a piece,
Yeah.
And it showed me how to, paint in front of people, because you do that stuff here in the public. So you're painting in front of the crowd. You're troubleshooting. You're learning how to do composition. I didn't even know these words when I was a kid, but as I got older, that's what I was doing.
Right.
I was already kind of doing it in the street, but so I fell in love with graffiti art, and I started to get in trouble when I was around 17 for writing on the walls of my city. They finally caught up to me.
Yeah.
And they gave me a big ticket. I had to pay a fine. I was under 18, so I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but I had to pay a fine. So I went and painted a mural to get the money to pay for the fine. But that mural was on a movie studio.
Oh, wow.
And I was doing like a crime TV show, and they just wanted the writing on the wall and destroy the wall a little bit, make it look, real.
Yeah.
So I never looked back after that. I started to get a job in the studio. I live in Southern California, so Hollywood is right there.
Yeah.
And I fell in love with the television and film, like working in that industry also.
That's awesome. Like, what is the end goal? What's the dream? Like, I need to own this car.
The dream. I would really like to one day have a super, super clean 77 Trans Am, because I have to give it to Burt Reynolds. He is what really got me into cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That movie?
I remember watching Smokey and the Bandit. I think it was sophomore year, and I had the biggest crush on him. And so I was looking up his IMDb and just looking at movies. So I wasn't even into cars at this time. Watched Smokey and the Bandit purely because it was a Burt Reynolds movie. And then that scene where the Trans Am is pulling out of the Kenworth, that first time it backs out.
Of course, yeah.
I was like, that with the
whatever this thing
screaming
is.
chicken,
Yeah.
that. So at some point would love to own one of those.
What is you would reflect and say, this is the one build that I think kind of resonated with our audience the most, or that we're most proud of, or like represents our company? What is that one build where you're like, man, that is like the crown jewel of the channel?
That's an easy question. It's one of the Power Wheels builds, because that's like what we've become known for, and we've done a lot of them. The one we just finished is a really, really close second to the previous one. We call it Colonel Senders, because it originally was kind of a greenish colored, like Power Wheels Jeep body. We put a different body on it later, but it's a Power Wheels Jeep, just not Barbie Jeep. And we put 100 horsepower KTM V-twin 1000cc motorcycle engine in it. 4-wheel drive, power steering, like really good independent suspension, reverse, added all that stuff. And I mean, I put hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours into like custom building the entire chassis is custom built. I may top that build, but I honestly don't know if I ever will. Like, it was just so perfect in so many ways, and just driving it, it's hard to describe how well it works. Like, it's a whole bunch of parts into a tiny little space that should be miserable to drive, and it's just fantastic. Like, the weight balance is perfect. I've jumped it like 50 feet. Just massive jumps that are built for mega trucks, like huge, trucks with tires this tall. Jumps built for that. I took it around that course, just, 50-foot tabletops, just clearing them.
For me, it's different because Ethan has so many hours into that, and like it's such a thing. But what I'm really proud of as far as like our YouTube channel is, we have this series where we took a gambler car and it didn't really work out right. And so we were up all night.
Everything went wrong. No, it didn't really, like, it went very wrong.
Like, you couldn't have scripted a movie better. And just like the way that we filmed it and the way that like it came out in the edit, like it's one of our longer videos, and it is just a dramatic masterpiece of redneckery. Like, it's beautiful.
That one, I was thinking about that too, is that one's, the end result vehicle, not all that proud of, but the whole experience, it was just so good. We got at the end
of the day, like, and just there's so many people involved with it. It was so much fun to do. It's like, for me, it's such a good memory. And if I had to link one people, like, oh, like, what do you do? I'd send them that video even still and be like, hey, this is I guess what we do, or what we've accomplished, now that it's over and we're selling hot tubs.
Folks that want to become a fabricator, what is the one tool you recommend? Like, you need to start here. This is what I recommend to just get going.
My advice has always been get an oxyacetylene torch and get a grinder.
You can do a lot with those.
You can cut, you can bend, and you can weld with the oxyacetylene torch. And the grinder, you can fix all the stuff that you messed up with the oxyacetylene torch.
There you go. I'm more of a grinder than a welder myself.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, if you can get an oxyacetylene torch, and like you learn how to weld with coat hanger, and you can stick some metal together, it's like you'll do that. By the time you pay off that torch, you're going to be like, I need a MIG welder anyways. So you've already got that torch in the stable, so you can cut stuff, you can bend U-bolts, you can bend things, and you probably won't go back to using it as a welder very often. If you want to like screw around and learn how to silver solder and braze, like that's also cool. So you can fix like power steering lines later on. But a lot of times you'll not use the oxy torch for welding anymore. So then you need to go out and get yourself a little 110 MIG welder. My one of choice is always the Hobart Handler 135.
That's where I started too, was the Hobart. That's good.
They're so good. They're good quality because it's part of the Miller family, but it's like the price is right. And the 110 welder, I built many cars just off of that little 110 welder. Make sure you don't use an extension cord on it. Here's the trick.
You lose the amperages and the powers.
What I always do, I'll buy a little cheapy 110 welder, and then I'll go and I'll buy like 25 feet of heavy gauge, like 10-2 cord, and wire in like a 20-foot cord, hardwired right into it, so you don't have to use an extension cord.
Yeah.
And those things rip. They do so good.
If you're wondering why you're not making bacon, and then you got it plugged into a Christmas light extension cord.
That's it right there.
You're learning, as everyone else here knows, I have a very weird music playlist it goes from like Christmas music to jazz to outdoor ambiance to rock metal. What is your music? Like, what's in your shop?
Well, I usually played 90s rock mostly, or sometimes I'll go to classic rock radio, because I don't have a device with a whole bunch of music on it. I just play the radio old school and just let it ride. But
Oh, you're talking FM, like frequency
yeah,
modulation.
yeah.
Okay, all
that's
right.
how I do it. That's how I roll, man. You know, the FM served me well, and I'm sticking with it.
So I saw a picture. I can't remember where I saw it. Okay, but you had like 52 speakers in the cab with an amplifier on top or something. You went all out on this system. What
Yeah.
was that?
Well, I've got some really large speakers. I mean, they're two 15-inch woofers, and they're about that tall, and they weigh like 200 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're a little tough to move around, but I have them in the shop, and a gigantic amp. That's all the guy needs, really.
So, like when your local radio station advertisements are playing, you can hear it from the dosage farm from like 6 miles away.
Oh yeah, my whole idea, my goal with the whole stereo deal, and I built up in steps, was I wanted something that could blow the roof off the shop if I wasn't careful, and I think I'm right there. It still has a roof, but
Well, 4 ohms or 8 ohms?
I think it's 8 ohms
Jensen or Pioneer?
on the. It's a pile amp.
You got a pile?
Yeah.
Wow. But I'm saying Jensen or Pioneer in general, if you had to choose.
Oh, I see what you mean. Ooh, that's a tough choice, actually. Man, they're pretty close. The Jensen, I would have to say, just for nostalgia purposes.
Yeah, I think you're right. Isn't it funny how the magnets on old speakers are like this, and now the car audio today, they're like ginormous?
Do you think they're bigger?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
maybe not.
the
I don't
Jensen triaxles had the 20-ounce magnet. You know, that was rock and roll.
This is where we needed to go. Okay, so do you believe that different woods in the cabinets, some say like mahogany and cherry, have a different ambiance than like pine or particle board?
Oh, I thought you were talking about car audio when you were talking Jensen versus Pioneer.
I might have been.
I thought you were.
But now I'm back in the home
Now
stereo.
we're back to home.
Yeah.
Pine or mahogany? I mean, the obvious choice there is mahogany. I mean, what's the matter with you? You're just giving me these softball questions. First, which aisle, and now pine or mahogany? I mean, is there even a choice?
Well, I didn't know if you were like an oak guy, you know?
Well, I mean, oak's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, when you were wrenching at my place, you probably noticed my music playlist is kind of weird.
It's pretty similar. You know what the crazy thing is ever since then, I do play a lot of Christmas music.
Yes.
Like all through the summer. It's like if things get weird in the shop, crank on the Christmas playlist.
I'm telling you, man. if you slip and bust a knuckle and it's just your day's not going good, you put on Santa Claus is coming to town. All of a sudden, you're like, whatever, we'll figure it out. You know.
Yep.
Music inspires everything that I do. You know, when I get in my car, I have my little soundtrack for where I'm gonna go roll. If I'm in my father's '59 El Camino, I'm gonna put on the Pretenders. I'm gonna put on some Led Zeppelin in there. You know what I mean? When I'm in my lowrider, I'm gonna have the oldies on. When I'm in my Grand National, I'm gonna put on some funk. So I have a different emotion for each different. When I'm in the 1930s car, I'm putting an old school doo-wop on.
There you go.
So barbershop doo-wop.
I'm the same exact way.
You know?
It's funny. It's like, it's you almost feel like you're absorbed into the era with these vehicles. You know what I mean?
Yes, I want to try what were they like back in the
Yes. Yeah, I love that. Do you listen to vinyl records by chance?
Yeah, I'm a big vinyl collector. As you can see, there's some vinyl in my tattoo shop that stacked right there. That's Gene Chandler and One Way, which is that old school funk. And my wife is a huge collector. We have a page online called Soul Sundays. And Sundays is spelled like an ice cream sundae. And every week we drop vinyl on there and play everything from classic soul to new wave, you know, to disco, you know, like disco soul.
How many do you think you have? How many vinyls?
We have crates of vinyl, you know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's something it's a constant process. When we're in Japan, we're in the vinyl stores. You know, just here in Dallas and in Austin, I was seeing places that had comics and vinyl. Yeah. Vinyl's at an all-time high. People really, I think, respect and understand the old school methods. I mean, I have an 8-track player in one of my cars.
Yeah.
So I collect 8-tracks too.
Yeah.
Cassettes. We have collection CD books. And this.
I love all that stuff. Like you say, vinyl and 8-track. I mean, people literally cutting tape together to make these sounds, and like all of the work that went into creating that sound is incredible. And speaking of sound, to me, you throw a vinyl on,
Yeah.
I love that sound. It's
the scratchiness.
The scratchy. It's a little more mono. You don't quite get that stereo feel, but like it for me, it just like transports me or teleports me to whatever I'm listening to, whether it's 70s or 60s or 50s or whatever it may be. It's fun, man. As you get older,
it hurts when you fall.
Well, I just
crash now a lot more. Tuck and roll.
My
baby.
kids make so much fun of me, and I'm going to tell you guys this because we're friends. Right? I was teaching my son how to do a single and a double, and whoops, tabletop. We got a track on our property. So I was trying to show off, and I was a little bit deep in the wall pops. So I was like, I'm going to double over him and show off a little bit. Well, I whiskey throttled it, and I ended up in the trees. I overshot it by probably 40 feet. I mean, it was pretty extensive. Busted some ribs, dislocated my fingers, all sorts of stuff.
Oh, you crashed.
All crashed.
Oh, dang.
Got my shirt off, bent the bars, forks, frame, everything. Yeah. But the thing that I'm most proud of, other than a pretty radical wreck, is I got up, fired the bike up again, and I told my son, "What do you do when you wreck?" And he's like, I don't know, call for help. And I was like, "Oh." Nope.
That one's good,
That's
though.
logical. Makes sense.
Yeah.
But you get on the horse and you ride again.
Yeah.
So we did another 20, 30 laps, and I did this just shredded with a broken bike because I just wanted to show him you don't give up, you don't give in.
Yeah.
You got to get up. And it doesn't matter if it's motorcycles or accounting or a tire store or welding or small business or big business. It's like you get knocked down, you just have to get up and just think about it differently and just try harder.
I just started riding motorcycles 4 or 5 years ago. Hardcore riding.
Which is crazy.
And so like I actually crashed like the first like couple of months I had this Sportster. Now I have a vast collection of Harleys, but at the time I just bought my Sportster. And I was feeling froggy. I left the gym and I was like in a sports bra and leggings, you know, with my backpack and my helmet. And I was thinking I was just like the shit, like on this like Sportster, you know. Karma and the universe are like humbled my ass real quick. Basically, I like was just cruising down Greg Street. Thank God nobody knew it was me, but like I crashed in front of Taco Bell. It was either I had forward controls on it, so I couldn't reach the back brake. Or the front, brake. Yeah. So I had to mash the front brake, almost like a trailer, like a tractor trailer, where it pulled out in front of me. It was either hit the back of the tractor trailer or mash the brakes.
Lay it down.
So I mashed the brakes in front of Taco Bell, and everybody at Taco Bell watched me crash my motorcycle.
Shout out for Taco Bell.
Shout out.
Cheeseburger Crunch. Yeah, awesome.
We love your tacos. So I picked it up real quickly. Like, I don't know how I picked it up. Like, adrenaline, it was just killing, I guess. And
yeah, the bike's like 4 times your weight.
yeah, I picked it up and I walked it across the street into the Taco Bell parking lot, and all of a sudden I like looked down and I was like making sure I wasn't broken, and I was like, all right, there's like blood on my leg, but I'm okay. My handlebars are bent in. Like, I crashed pretty hard, and this little Southern family and their little Suburban pulls up, and this woman goes, "Oh my God, are you okay? You just took a big table topple back there." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I'm good." And she's like, "Do I need to call an ambulance?" And I was like, "No, I'm gonna ride this home, because if I don't ride it home, I'm never gonna ride it again."
There you go.
And
exactly.
Then, within 2 more months, I think I was standing on it.
We're gonna move on to a part of this Is it a segment or is it part of a segment?
Well, you can't use this redundant to say part of a segment, because
we're going to move on.
I guess it would be
part of the segment.
Yeah, I apologize. I misspoke.
Oh.
Yeah, no, carry on.
We're doing a different thing than what we were doing.
This is going to be fun. Are we rolling?
Oh, we never stopped rolling.
Okay. Perfect. That's what I needed. All right. This is the Dorman mystery box. In here is an automotive part
Available at O'Reilly Auto Parts. We've unpackaged, stuffed in this box. There's 2 holes for your hands, so you can reach in here and feel it.
Yeah,
I just want to see if you can guess what this is.
by feel.
By feel only.
You're joking.
No. And then, after you probably fail miserably, I'm going to do the same. So if you're going to throw parts in, spin the box around, I'm going to do the same thing.
All right.
So good luck. This is really.
If this is a plate of spaghetti with grapes in it, I'm going to hurt you.
I wonder, can you get a tight of this thing? Because it's not. Right? It doesn't make sense.
There's a multi-pin plug.
You got a multi-pin plug. Okay.
There's a mounting tab.
We got mounting tabbage. So you know it's electronic at this point.
What is this?
Or is it? Oh. There was a light bulb just went off. I saw it. This is tough. I feel like
It
this
is tough.
This should have been the. Are they worse than this going forward? Oh, great.
Oh, I know what this is. This is a in-dash radio module.
Oh, in-dash radio. Okay. Do I pull it out?
Or a heater control.
Okay, he got it. That's a win.
Is it?
That's
heater
a win.
control?
HVAC module.
No!
Yes. Dude, that was awesome. That's impressive. I would have had no idea.
Wow.
I would be like, Xbox controller, what are we looking at? What is this too? Dodge or something? No, this is Chevy. That is so impressive. I was looking at it going, oh, I don't think I could get that. Great. Maybe a flux capacitor or something. This is tough. This round of Dorman mystery box has been, man. You got hardware with yours.
Yeah. Okay. It's a boat.
Okay, so far doing really good.
Another boat.
Okay.
A smaller boat.
Killing it.
And I feel the holes where the boats go through.
It's tough.
Yeah. There's a boat over.
The thing with holes with the balls. I'm trying to.
It's just.
I'm reading it. I'm trying to comprehend what I'm looking at here.
It doesn't have anything. It's just metal, and it's got holes in it for that to go through, and it's weird shaped.
What would you use it for?
Paperweight.
Here in the paperweight aisle 6. Okay.
Just feels like it might go on like something with the brakes or something. But
Brakes that's a good guess because the jog or the sharp edge. Okay, this is actually a manifold clamp kit. To what? I have absolutely zero idea. Not a clue. But it does come with hardware.
Right, yeah. That's worth that, yeah, because you can use that for something else.
That's $5 right there. I don't like that face, Kevin. Is it flipping?
You didn't see it, did you?
No. Did it come out?
Yeah, it did. I had to put it back.
Is this the whole thing?
Yeah. I think I actually know what it is.
Okay, this is going to be on the Dorman help aisle. You can find it in the back wall of your O'Reilly Auto Parts store. But
see, what you're doing right now with your hand should give you a clue as to what I think it is.
It spins,
yes.
It rotates.
Yes.
But I'm trying to feel if there's like a cable opening in here. It's got weird things on it.
I can't even read that label.
Okay, next, let's bring it down. Let's bring it down a little bit.
That is not what I thought it was.
Oh, great.
That is not what I thought it was. I have no help for you. I have nothing to add.
Oh my gosh. You know what we need to figure out is punishments if we can't get it. Right?
Oh, yeah, like shots or something.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Like you get 3 clues.
Like beer pong.
If you don't get it, it's either a shot or like a paintball gun to the face or something. Something easy. You know?
No.
All right. I don't know. I give up. What is it?
All right, so the description on the packaging is
Oh, it's a 926.99.
flexible steering coupler.
Stop. This steers a car?
You know what I thought it was? I thought it was a window lift motor gear.
Whoop.
Because sometimes they're plastic on plastic.
So we're going to move on to a segment called ASAP-olators. You guys really like this one. This is where I'm going to rapid fire you some questions, and your job is to, as quickly as possible, first thing that comes off the top of your head,
Okay.
that's your answer. Going to start out with a tough one.
Okay.
Favorite automaker right now?
Dodge.
That was fast. Challenger, probably?
Charger.
Charger?
Yeah.
Have you heard the new electric growling speaker thing?
Yeah. No comment.
No comment? What is your go-to beverage while wrenching?
We drink a ton of water, but also High Lifes.
High Lifes.
Yeah.
All right. Ugliest vehicle ever made?
Pontiac Aztec.
Ooh, that's a good one. We get a lot of PT Cruiser, Volkswagen Bugs. The Aztec, I think, thankfully, is like finally being forgotten a little bit. Someone should big block one though.
Oh yeah.
Just to
do it.
Yeah. What tool do you use the most?
My bandsaw.
Bandsaw.
Yeah.
Well, you're kind of more of a. Do you consider yourself more of a fabricator than mechanic?
I don't know. I'm not a fabricator. I would never call myself a fabricator because I'm not that good at it. I can fit stuff together, but like welding is not my thing. You know, I'm like, this goes here and that makes sense. And then we'll kind of get it going. I really like a race. It's crazy. We do these build shows, but like I'm a driver, I think, more than anything. Well, I used to be anyway. I don't know.
When you build it, it's nice though because you know you're building it to like curtail to your driving though, in a sense, which is cool. So I consider myself more of a traditional mechanic. So like tractors and semis and any pushrod V8 or whatever, non-computer stuff. I look at people like you as your skill set when I say people and think that I would call you a fabricator.
Okay.
Because I couldn't take aluminum, pie cut it, TIG weld it, make a turbo thing that's too cold, the other one's hot or whatever. Sure, you could do that. I would have like Schedule 40 pipe, and plumber strap and stuff like that. But okay. What's your favorite decade of automobile?
Fast, right?
It's quick as you're
70s.
Okay. Which makes sense with the Demon and the Cuda and the
G-bodies are in 70. Yeah, you can get some G-bodies in there.
Yeah.
I like third gen A bodies a ton.
Really?
Yeah, they're cool.
They're kind of coming around.
They are.
Yeah.
There's just not that many. The problem is there's not that many of them. So
Right.
they're tough to find, and the prices are going up.
Yeah. Swivel seats, man.
Cool.
What's your favorite car movie?
Drive.
Okay.
I don't know. Two-lane blacktop is great. Vanishing Point is awesome.
They're all good.
They're all good. So many good ones.
Here's a side question of that. What do you think was the last greatest car movie? Because they're like done, it seems like.
I don't know. I mean, I would say probably Drive. That one really got me hyped. Like, I was like, this is cool. Shot incredibly well. That car is an off-the-wall car, but you get the right vibe of like, it doesn't super matter about the car. It's about the driver and what they're doing and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Baby Driver, I didn't see. I heard that's supposed to be awesome. Is that what it's called?
I've never watched that one.
Is that it, the stunt wild one? Yeah.
I think after like the new Gone in the 60 Seconds got so hyped up, and like it's better chase scene than the original, and then I watched it and I was like,
I love old stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even the old Gone in 60 Seconds, like Bullet, all that stuff is so cool. You know, I romanticize all of it, but it's so cool, man.
So your channel's been going for like 2 years. You've been wrenching longer than that.
Yeah.
So when did you really start turning wrenches or holding the flashlight for Dad and doing all that?
It's been a long time. Like, he has a picture of me sitting in the Buick Skylark hood when we were rebuilding it.
So a long, long time.
Yeah.
Dad, what would you say? 10, 8?
So it's kind of evolved. Obviously, wrenching's always been in my downtime from my day job, and his mother's a nurse, so on the weekends that she was working, you know, even from toddler age, we were in the shop, and it has evolved from me watching him in the shop and kind of slowing me down a little bit to now it really slows me down when he's not there, because it has evolved to where he's a hand in the shop now.
Well, that's awesome.
So I would say at least
10 years since he's been somewhat helpful in the shop.
Wow, it sounds like you can leverage him for some ice cream or something.
He definitely can.
What's your favorite tool? Do you have a favorite tool in the shop?
I use a little Milwaukee electric ratchet a lot.
Those are handy, aren't
Yeah.
they? Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the jack.
You use a jack a lot too, obviously.
Yeah.
I carry a Leatherman. That's my hammer, that's my pry bar, that's my knife,
Yeah.
plier, all that stuff. And I lose them a lot too, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now they're just all over the place. That and a hammer and a vice grip, obviously. Oh, here's one. Do you have a favorite car movie?
What's that one you had me watch the other day?
Oh, he recently watched American Graffiti.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like Two-Lane Blacktop?
No?
Okay, that's another one. You gotta jot that one down too. But American Graffiti is pretty cool. There's a lot of timeless classics in that thing.
Yeah. That era of automobile, just like the cruising and it doesn't get much better than that in my opinion.
Yeah. That was going to be my next question, is if you have a favorite era. You love the 70s, 72 Chevelles, but do you like the 30s cars, like pre-war and
I
stuff?
do like the 30s cars.
Yeah. The nice thing about that era is you don't have to be so focused on going fast as it is, like you say, just the style and cruising and having fun and stuff like that.
What do you think the ugliest car is? It'd be like an old car, new car. At the airport yesterday, I saw a Honda Ridgeline at the rental, and it's like, oh.
I think we've had a Ridgeline before.
That's a minivan Ute.
Yeah, there you go. I think we've had a Ridgeline. And Aztecs. Pontiac Aztecs. You ever seen one of those?
I've probably seen one, but I've never heard
Be
of it.
thankful if you don't remember it. I don't know.
That's the peak of Pontiac's automotive design.
I don't know what happened there.
Well, I think we're fixing to get kicked out of here by the stack of tables and chairs behind us. So,
well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. We've got a lot of drag racing going on, and we are missing it. We've got to go out and check this out. We've got a lot of work to do on this yet.
We do.
Well, you're a busy man. I don't want to tie you up anymore. I know you're going right into something else. Thanks again for joining us. This has been incredible.
And you got to quit when you're ahead. So thank you, Jessica, for joining us.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it very much. Hopefully you got some behind the scenes or additional information. Got all your questions answered.
Thanks for joining, Kevin. Thanks for joining. This
Absolutely.
was a blast,
Thanks for having
as
me.
usual.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you get future shows just like this with awesome guests. Thanks, guys, for watching. Appreciate you very much. We'll see you next time. All right. Refill?
Yeah.